Have you ever opened your closet door and felt a wave of overwhelm? Clothes crammed onto hangers, shoes piled in a jumbled heap, and accessories spilling out of every corner. My closet had become a monster. I knew it was time for a change. It was time to declutter and embrace a minimalist wardrobe. Minimalism isn't about living with nothing. It's about owning things that bring you joy. It's about letting go of the excess to appreciate what truly matters. I was tired of feeling weighed down by my possessions. I craved a simpler, more intentional way of living. A minimalist wardrobe challenge seemed like the perfect place to start. Looking at the mountain of clothes in my closet, I couldn't help but feel overwhelmed. The sheer volume of garments, some of which I had forgotten I even owned, was staggering. Each piece seemed to scream for attention, yet they all blended into a chaotic mess. I felt a surge of guilt. How did I let it get this far? The guilt wasn't just about the money spent, but also about the environmental impact and the sheer wastefulness of it all. I had bought into the idea that more was better, but now I was drowning in excess. So many items unworn, tags still attached. They were like little reminders of my impulsive decisions, each one a testament to a moment of weakness. I had convinced myself that these clothes would make me happier, more stylish, more complete. But they hadn't. Each piece represented a decision, a purchase, a hope for a future self. A self that was more put together, more confident, more everything. But that future self never materialized. Instead, I was left with a closet full of unmet expectations and broken promises. But the truth was, this excess wasn't serving me. It was suffocating me. The clutter was a constant source of stress, a daily reminder of my inability to control my consumption. It was as if the clothes were mocking me, reminding me of my failures. Minimalism promised freedom from this burden. The idea of owning less, of only keeping what truly brought me joy, was incredibly appealing. It wasn't just about decluttering my physical space, but also about decluttering my mind and my life. It promised clarity and peace of mind. By letting go of the excess, I could focus on what really mattered. I could find joy in simplicity, in the things that truly added value to my life. Minimalism wasn't just a trend, it was a path to a more meaningful existence. The first step was the hardest, pulling everything out. It felt like opening a Pandora's box of memories, each piece of clothing holding a story, a moment in time. Some items were easy to discard, like the old t-shirt with a stain that never came out, or the jeans that had long since gone out of style. But others were more challenging, like the dress I wore to my best friend's wedding, or the sweater my grandmother knitted for me. Each item seemed to whisper, "Remember when?" And it was hard not to get lost in the nostalgia. I emptied my entire closet, tossing clothes onto my bed until it resembled a fabric mountain. The sheer volume was overwhelming. How had I accumulated so much? It was a stark reminder of years of impulse buys, gifts, and items kept out of sentimentality. The bed, once a place of rest, now looked like a battlefield of fabric, each piece vying for a spot in my future or a place in the past. Then I began the sorting process. It was methodical, almost therapeutic. I created 3 piles: keep, donate, and undecided. The keep pile was for items I loved and wore regularly. The donate pile was for clothes that were still in good condition, but no longer served me. The undecided pile was for those pieces I wasn't quite ready to part with, but knew I needed to reconsider. Each item was held in my hands, carefully considered. Did it spark joy? This question, popularized by Marie Kondo, became my mantra. It wasn't just about whether the item was useful or fashionable, but whether it brought a sense of happiness and contentment. Some items, like my favorite hoodie, were easy to keep. Others, like the dress I hadn't worn in years, were harder to justify. Did it fit my current lifestyle? This was another crucial question. My life had changed over the years, and so had my needs. The business suits from my corporate days no longer fit my more casual, work-from-home lifestyle. The high heels that once made me feel powerful now felt like instruments of torture. It was time to let go of the old and make room for the new. If the answer was no, it went into the donate pile. This pile grew steadily, a testament to my willingness to let go and move forward. Each item placed in the donate box felt like a small victory, a step towards a more organized and intentional life. I imagined the joy these clothes would bring to someone else, giving them a second life and purpose. Letting go was surprisingly emotional. Each piece of clothing was a thread in the tapestry of my life, and removing it felt like unraveling a part of myself. There were moments of doubt and hesitation, wondering if I was making the right choices. But I reminded myself that holding on to the past was preventing me from embracing the future. There were pangs of guilt, whispers of, what if I need this someday? The fear of regret loomed large, making it difficult to part with certain items. But I realized that clinging to these just-in-case pieces was a form of self-imposed clutter. It was time to trust that I had enough, that I was enough, and that I could always find what I needed when the time came. But as the donate pile grew, so did a sense of liberation. The weight of the past began to lift, replaced by a lightness and clarity. My closet, once a chaotic jumble, was now a space of order and intention. Each item left was a conscious choice, a reflection of who I am now and who I aspire to be. The Great Closet Purge was more than just a cleaning exercise. It was a journey of self-discovery and renewal. Slowly, my bed started to clear. The clutter that once overwhelmed my space began to disappear, piece by piece. Each item I picked up and decided to keep or discard was a step towards reclaiming my sanctuary. The bed, once buried under a mountain of clothes, began to reveal its true form. It was as if the room itself was breathing a sigh of relief, shedding the weight of unnecessary possessions. The keep pile, significantly smaller, held clothes I loved and actually wore. These were not just garments, they were expressions of my identity. Each piece in this pile had a story, a memory attached to it. They were the clothes that made me feel good about myself, that I reached for time and time again. The act of sorting through them was not just about organization, but about reconnecting with who I am and what I value. These were pieces that reflected my personal style, items that made me feel confident and comfortable. Holding them, I felt a sense of joy and satisfaction. It was a reminder that I didn't need a lot to feel complete, just a few well-chosen items that truly resonated with me. As I admired these clothes, I felt a renewed sense of self, a clarity that had been missing amidst the chaos. Folding and putting away the chosen few was a meditative experience. Each fold, each placement was done with intention and care. It was a moment of mindfulness, where I could focus solely on the task at hand. The repetitive motion of folding, the smoothness of the fabric, the satisfaction of seeing a neat pile grow, it was all incredibly soothing. It was a simple act, but it brought a profound sense of peace. Each item found its designated space, creating a sense of calm and order. The closet, once a chaotic jumble, was now a harmonious collection of my favorite things. Every drawer, every shelf had a purpose. This newfound order extended beyond the physical space. It brought a sense of clarity and tranquility to my mind as well. In organizing my belongings, I had also organized my thoughts, finding peace in the simplicity and order I had created. Gone was the overwhelming chaos. In its place stood a curated collection of my favorite pieces. The once dreaded task of choosing an outfit became effortless. Getting ready in the morning transformed into a joyful ritual. My closet, once a source of stress, became a haven of peace and self-expression. The Minimalist Wardrobe Challenge taught me more than just how to declutter. It taught me the power of intentionality. It made me question the societal pressures that fuel our consumption habits. I began to see clothing not as disposable items, but as investments in quality and sustainability. Decluttering my closet was just the beginning of a larger journey toward mindful living. This experience has inspired me to simplify other areas of my life. If my story resonates with you, I encourage you to try it. Start small, be patient, and embrace the transformative power of minimalism. Ready to take your decluttering journey to the next level? Share your experience in the comments below and subscribe to my channel for more tips on minimalist living. Thank you so much for watching and for being part of this journey.